Fire Mango. WSG Badger. Fire Mango. TDS enabled today or not?
TTS if y'all want it. You know, in this light, I almost look my age. Almost. Not quite, but almost. What's up, Fire Mango? How you doing? Yeah, no, Nihilia was supposed to stream tonight. I keep forgetting to try to figure out how to do an integrated, fucking... That's the best I got there. Okay. Apologies. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do some kind of integration on
Fire Mango.
all that stuff.
I wish I could grow your beard. Sadly, I just get an Irish chin strap.
An Irish chin strap. You talking about the thing that Philip Bonnie's got? Fire Mango from All That
Fire
Remains?
Mango. Look like a leprechaun.
I love how the YouTube... I love how TTS cannot pronounce leprechaun. But yeah, do I look like a retiree? I'm starting to think I don't anymore. But yeah, no. I keep forgetting to put up a schedule. It's just
Fire
hard
Mango.
to do integration.
I think I misspelled it.
Oh, you think so? Oh, I
Fire
just
Mango.
glanced at it.
You don't.
I just glanced at it. I was like, looks right. But yeah, Fire Mango, freaking, if you're a chiseled dude, then an Irish chin strap looks good. Hell, it can even look classy if you dress appropriately. Clothing can make the man. Yeah, apologies. There we go. Where is my integration? There it is. Okay.
Fire
cool.
Mango. Unfortunately, I'm not working on it.
Not working on what, Mango? Again, apologies everybody else. Nihilia was supposed to stream tonight.
Fire Mango.
She can't.
But also I grow a beard at a snail's pace.
Nihilia can't stream tonight. She probably won't be able to stream for a minute. Because, her hospital is overwhelmed.
Fire Mango. No, I'm not chiseled, I am working on it.
Oh, okay. Too easy.
Fire Mango. Should have added a comma.
Man, the freaking little volume bar is a bit vexing. There we go. Whatever. It's as good as it'll get. But yeah, yeah, no, her hospital's overwhelmed. And,
Fire Mango. But time for you to watch Stoic Stick's video on Nothing Ever Happens.
But yeah, no,
Fire Mango. It's peak gens.
Peak Gen Z, huh? Yeah, no, dang, I was trying to answer. I was gonna explain something. Oh yeah, hospital Nihilia. So Nihilia's hospital in California is overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. They had a bunch of riots too near her hospital. So she was briefly in danger. She's going to have quite a bit of stories to tell when she comes back on the channel. But for now, she's just extremely busy. Work has her full. She hasn't even been able to go get groceries. She's been having to like eat at the cafeteria in the hospital every day. It's that bad. That, and with her losing a bunch of patients because of Antifa and BLM rioters who are forcing themselves to be priority at the hospital. Man, she's going through it. Anyway, you said I'd do a what to a whom and where? Fire Mango?
Fire Mango. Sorry, delay cuts you off with TDS.
Yeah, I wish it was faster. But more people, there's more people that listen than watch. Even today, with everything going on as it does. Stoic Sticks video on Nothing Ever Happens. Let me see what this nets me. Stoic Stick. You know what? I'll subscribe. Why not? Nothing ever happens. I'm gonna give it a minute. I'm waiting to see if we get anybody else in here, because
Fire Mango. Yep.
I know that you and the other regulars have a hard time getting notifications from YouTube when I'm live, even though y'all have all notifications turned on. So I'm trying to see, give it a bit of time to see if anybody else loads in before I fire off the request. I'm drinking
Fire Mango.
black tea with honey.
You should ping he server.
I should ping the server. Ping what server? The Discord server? Oh yeah, I haven't checked it much. In fact, last time I checked it, it was dead still. I think that's Commander Wolf.
Fire Mango. Yeah. Fire Mango.
Wolf.
It is.
But yeah, no, yeah, if there's nobody on the server, really no point in putting stuff in there, right? Because,
Fire Mango.
unfortunately,
I was thinking about throwing song recommendations in there, but I don't know.
You know what? I like having that little thing right there. YouTube requests. Yeah, at some point. It's just that it's going to take eternity to regrow the channel even nearby to what it used to be. But yeah. Alright, I'm going to give it a little bit more time and then see if I could just jump straight into the request for you. But yeah, freaking,
Fire Mango. Yeah.
Ooh, give me a sec. I'm gonna check on,
Fire Mango. Shit's not good up in Seattle.
Shit's not good up in Seattle. I could have guessed as much. I don't need news reports to tell me it's a hellhole. It's not a good place. Any place run by those people is not good. I'll be back in a sec. I gotta make sure my boy's okay. But if you can, please share.
Fire Mango. Also strikes from Trump in Iran.
Alright. He's still doing certain things. Shit's not good. Strikes
Fire
from Trump
Mango.
and Iran. Basically,
We're getting Marines.
Well, it figures. Even though the president can call up the National Guard, right? The State Guard are under the. It's the.
Fire Mango.
It's the state.
But
National
our police
Guard,
is going to apparently fight them.
that does stuff for the state. Our police is going to apparently fight them. Yeah, I figured as much. The police department won't win that fight. When I told people that there aren't any good cops left, that's not trying to be dismissive of if there's any cops left. It's just a fact of the matter is that in the vast majority of places, All the good cops are gone. And by good cop, I mean those who join the force to do the right
Fire
thing.
Mango.
Not just to do a
Got
job.
popcorn ready for that one.
But yeah, record some videos. We'll do a demonetization stream where we watch the Democrats get taken down together. The correct way. Anyway, so it looks like nobody else is going to show up. Let's jump into this react, shall we? So this is from Fire Mango. A reaction request from Fire Mango himself. From Stoic Stick, nothing ever happens. I wish I could make some dumb, goofy-ass shit like this and get 103,000 views. That'd be nice. Anyway, let's check it out, shall we?
I think that the end of the world is just...
Oh, whoops. I got it all turned down.
on the horizon, and that, oh yeah, it's really going to kick off this time, but the more enlightened of us know that nothing ever happens. Stocks tanking left and right, and it looks like it could be a major stock market crash.
Wait a minute. When was this dated? 7 months ago. Shit, he don't know nothing about the Trump train yet. But he's right for that point in time.
I buy the dip because nothing ever happens. International tax evasion scheme unearthed, implicating thousands of major politicians and businessmen. I sleep because nothing ever happens. Gene therapy on red cows in order to summon the Antichrist. I'm all in. Nothing ever happens. Join me as I take you on a trip throughout history, detailing the times that many people like us today all eagerly awaited for a huge event to occur, only in the end for nothing to ever happen.
I feel like he does this shit on purpose. Makes it all pasty white. Like shocking white. So that it throws off all of my everything. It's so bright, dude. What is this, the sun?
And to look at the few devout Chuddists that, through their belief in nothing ever happening, actually created the conditions for nothing to ever happen. Maybe after
Fire
watching
Mango.
this video, you too
No,
may
the
be
pasty
enlightened.
white is a part of this style of vides.
The pasty white is part of his style of it. Well, it is attention grabbing.
Fire Mango. There's a couple of black backgrounds.
It is attention grabbing. It's basically clickbait. I don't see it serving any other purpose. But it's effective nonetheless. I mean, we clicked on it.
Like me and believe in the ways of the Chudder.
And yet people say they hate clickbait.
And know that that thing that you think is going to happen, well, I don't even need to finish the sentence. Before we get into the video, I want to talk to you about today's paid partner, BetterHelp. Sometimes life can get overwhelming.
Uh-oh. Strike one. A BetterHelp commercial. It turns out a BetterHelp's nothing but a scam. Turns out that's all they did. Scam people. They got these people with fake degrees and everything. Pretending to do counseling by reading do-it-yourself help books. I'm not even joking. It's a big scandal.
I know this because, stoic as I am, not too long ago was one of the lowest points in my life, and the way that I handled it was probably the worst way that I could have. I bottled it all up, and I did that because I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. 85% of my viewers are...
Oh, hush, dude. Hush. Look at your flat. You're living it up bigger than me on every level. You shouldn't be having all these issues. You should be good. This is all it's all self-inflicted on this guy's behalf. It's all self-inflicted, I guarantee you that.
Men of around the same age, and I'm sure that many of you can relate to or have faced similar issues to what I've just described. The feeling of not being able to talk to someone or the stigma associated with going to therapy played a large part in why I didn't speak out.
Reading a script, not looking at the camera, not engaging personally. He's losing points here, man. I don't know what the point of this is. He's losing points with me. He's completely disconnected from what he's doing. I don't know. What do you think, Fire Mango? We haven't gotten to...
Fire Mango. We're just here for funny chud idealoy.
We're just here for funny chud idealoy.
Fire Mango. T.
Okay. But yeah, freaking man.
Fire Mango.
BetterHelp is an online therapy.
The ads are just for money.
Well, yeah, I know. I know. Me personally, I don't... It'd be very hard for me to take any sponsorships that I get nothing from, right? Like, let's say that Apple, right, sponsored me, like, you know, $100,000 for freaking, you know, the latest iPhone, right? I would try my best. Even though I don't use Apple, I refuse to. Right? I would at least give as much as I'm paid for. Right? Or I would try to find some way to make it an experience that's enjoyable for the viewer, if I can. Or at least have fun with it myself. But to add something personal to it, instead of just being a soulless parrot. Maybe that's just me. I get you, though.
Therapy platform that allows you to speak to a therapist online in your own time and according to your preferences. BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists that they can match you with based on your location,
Fire Mango.
preferences, and...
He's an animation content creator. His strong sweet isn't he himself, it's his character.
He's an animation content creator. His strong suit isn't he himself. It's his character. Maybe they're an eccentric. Maybe. Again, like, a good amount of that stuff is personal to me. It'd be hard for me to just do something as rote. And that's it, right? To just do the thing. Which I could do. But it feels bad. It would feel bad for me if it wasn't going to be something that is actually, like, I've proven it
Fire
through my own
Mango.
experience.
But also everyone skips these.
Well, I heard that skipping ads is rude, so... There, I got sanctioned to skip the ad.
Fire Mango. So why put effort into it?
I got sanctioned to skip the ad. Anyway. But yeah, no, like I said, it's just something personal to me.
BetterHelp for sponsoring the channel. Now back to the video. It's October 1962. Vasily Arkhipov is an executive officer aboard a submerged B-59 Soviet submarine in international waters. All of a sudden, depth charges begin blowing up near the submarine. It's been spotted by US Navy destroyers, and they're dropping depth charges to force them to come up to the surface for
Oh, I know this story. I know this story very well. I know this story. It's gonna go, and then the world kept turning.
identification. The Soviet submarine hasn't had contact with Moscow in a few days due to the radio not working while submerged, so they aren't sure if war has broken out on the surface. The captain of the sub, convinced that war has already started, wants to launch a T-5 nuclear torpedo at the destroyers. The T-5 torpedo had a 5-kiloton nuclear warhead and would have been enough to destroy most of the destroyers overhead, if not
Nothing
rendered
ever
them
happens.
functionally useless, but would have most certainly led to retaliatory strikes and an all-out war. The captain convinced the political officer that they needed to attack, but they needed Vasily to agree as well, before they could actually start firing any torpedoes. Despite it being a 2-on-1, Vasily holds his ground and disagrees, arguing that they need to wait for orders from Moscow before they do anything. The situation is insanely tense, and I can only imagine how the conversation went. Vasily Sutka, we need to shoot the nukes nahoy. Niet Sutka. Nothing ever happens. Vasily eventually convinced the captain that they shouldn't fire the weapons, and as a result, they were eventually forced to the surface amongst the American destroyers. The American ships were then like, yeah, can you leave please? And the Soviets were like, yeah, we were just about to head home. And all's well that ends well. I mean, Vasily did get reprimanded for making the USSR look weak when he got back, but eventually his courage and ability to do nothing was recognized. Most historians looking back on the Cuban Missile Crisis call this moment the closest that the world has ever been to World War III. But
I don't know. We were very close during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I believe it was 62, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It might have been 62. It was either the early 60s or the late 50s that the Cuban Missile Crisis happened. We got very close that time. Extremely close. This was just another time.
as always, without fail, nothing ever happened.
Which is what you want to always happen, is nothing. Because when something does happen, shit gets hard and wild for everybody immediately.
Our next tale of suspense and potentiality brings us to 19th century France. 1858 to be exact.
I can't even see the chat either. The chat is too transparent. I'll have to fix that.
Fire Mango. I haven't said anything.
Freaking A, dude. It's whatever. Can't really fix that, unfortunately.
When a plot devised...
No, I was just saying because of the white background, the chat, it's kind of hard to see the chat on the screen.
By
Fire
Italian
Mango.
nationalists.
Nothing ever happens.
Yeah, nothing ever happened. Well, let's hope that continues.
Nearly sent both Britain and France to war. Felice Orsini, Italian nationalist and revolutionary, devised a plot to kill Napoleon. No, not that Napoleon. It's the third Napoleon, who was also called Louis Napoleon Bonaparte. He was the nephew of the Napoleon that you are more familiar with, and he was named after his father and uncle. So, Napoleon III was riding in a carriage on his way to see a play at the Paris Opera when Orsini and his accomplices threw 3 bombs at the imperial carriage. One landed in front of the carriage, another near the horses, and a final one underneath the carriage. Unfortunately for Orsini, he didn't realize that the bombs were actually devout Chuddists, and, believing that nothing ever happens, managed to leave both the Emperor Napoleon and his wife unharmed. Napoleon, unfazed, proceeded with his plans to see the play, and Orsini escaped the scene, although he was caught the day after. Now, how did this almost bring France and Britain to war? Well, Orsini was actually aided and funded by Simon Francois Bernard, who was in exile in Britain. The British government refused to extradite Bernard, and then this revelation led to the French becoming aggravated, and both sides increasing in military planning and escalation. This would have more than likely led to war had it not been for the fact that Emperor Napoleon was unharmed by the attack. And because of this, the Emperor refused to escalate to an actual war, with some even quoting him as saying, nothing ever happens. Ho 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 ho. Okay, maybe that last.
Oh, oh, French frogs, formation. We surrender. That's what I think of every time when I think of the French. I think of that movie. I forget what the name of it was. It was like Ratatouille or something.
Quote was a lie, but he probably thought it at the time. Our next tale brings us to 17th century England, where a group of men conspire to blow up the Houses of Parliament. They did this as a form of protest against the anti-Catholic laws that led to the persecution of Catholics in England after the English Reformation. Can you believe that? Politicians using their power to tyrannize the masses. It's a good thing that that doesn't happen anymore, or we'd be in for a world of trouble. Anyway, the men led by
Or maybe we're already in a world of trouble.
Robert Catesby smuggled barrels of gunpowder into the Undercroft, which was just the basement level directly beneath the House of Lords, which was the target of the group. They placed 36 barrels of gunpowder in the Undercroft and concealed them with a layer of firewood. Now they planned to blow up the houses during the state opening of Parliament in February 1605, but it was delayed due to the plague, and the day that it was actually set to reopen was the 5th of November. All the gang had to do was wait, and they would eventually succeed in blowing up Parliament.
All they had to do was wait and survive the plague. That's all.
But due to religious sympathies, an anonymous letter was written warning Lord Monteagle, a member of the House, to not attend Parliament on the 5th. I'll read a little from the letter to give you an idea of how dumb it was.
Retire yourself into your county, whence you may expect the event in safety, for they shall receive a terrible blow this Parliament.
I wonder what a terrible blow to Parliament might mean. Anyway, Monteagle shows the letter to the king, and the king has the Undercroft searched in the early morning hours of November the 5th, and lo and behold, Guy Fawkes is standing there with 36 barrels of gunpowder and a fuse. Some reports stated that as Guy Fawkes was being dragged away, he was heard shouting,
"Aye, ye blasted plot. How was I supposed to know that nothing ever happens?"
Wow, that accent really takes it out of you.
What's really funny about all of this is that all of this is just basically a video about confirmation bias. Basically it. Or at least that's what I'm getting so far. All of these historical events and everything are real. They're 100% real.
Fire Mango. Pretty much.
But this is all basically just confirmation bias. Somebody can make a video that says stuff is always happening and list everything every day, every year, which would take eternity.
Fire Mango. That's why it's funny.
Which would take eternity. But so far, this just comes across to me as confirmation bias in a video.
Fire Mango. It's ironic.
It's ironic. Well, yeah, because you could say that the potential event not happening was something that happened in the first place. Just because you didn't succeed doesn't mean nothing happened and an attempt wasn't made, right? It's kind of like the opposite of annihilation, or what is it? Reciprocal contact, I think, where it's like two things of equal measure or equal value or whatever colliding nets the same result every time. You know? Because the fact something almost happened and was carried out to even a lackluster conclusion, the fact it still was attempted, that makes it something in
Fire
and of
Mango.
itself.
But the whole video is a joke about chuds who say nothing ever happens.
Oh, okay. Well, that flew right over my head. Maybe I'm overanalyzing everything still. Probably the case here.
Anyways, that's like 3 to Chudder, 0 to the It's Finally Happening Bros. Up next, we have another story of Napoleon, this time the one that you're actually thinking of, being within a couple of feet of being stabbed to death by a young German. A young Friedrich Staps approaches Napoleon as he was stationed in Venice in 1809. He came asking about a petition and then quickly reached into his coat pocket before being stopped by one of Napoleon's generals. When they pulled his arm out of his coat, He was brandishing a pretty large carving knife. Okay, well, maybe not that large. The general asked him if he was here to assassinate Napoleon, and he was like, yeah, kinda. Napoleon, hearing this, wanted to speak.
That was the plan. We. Surprised he didn't pull the blade out running at him like, wee.
With him, and then, using the general as a translator, had this following conversation.
Where were you born?
In Nürnberg,
What is your father?
a Protestant minister.
How old are you?
I am 18 years of age.
What did you intend to do with the knife?
To kill you?
You are mad, young man. You are an Illuminato.
Illuminato. I'm not mad, and I know not what is meant by an Illuminato.
You are sick then.
I am not sick. On the contrary, I am in good health.
Why do you wish to assassinate me? Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Because you have caused the misfortunes of my country.
Fire Mango.
Have I done you
You could
any
pretty
harm?
much end the video
You have
here.
done
It's
harm
mostly
to
just
me
more
as well as
jokes.
to all
You pretty much end the video. It's just more jokes.
Germans.
By whom were you sent? Who instigated you to this crime?
Nobody. I determined to take your life from the conviction that I should thereby render the highest service to my country and to Europe.
I tell you, you are either mad or sick.
Neither one nor the other. Napoleon then literally verbatim said,
If you say le sorry, I will pardon you for this crime. All you must say is le sorry.
And then Staffs was like, nah, I'm good, bro. So he was promptly executed by firing squad 5 days later. Historians, upon reading Napoleon's journal entries for the day, eventually found that he actually wrote about this day and quote him as saying,
I guess nothing ever happens.
Or maybe I'm lying, but you're probably too lazy to look it up, so using the implied authority that you've given me, I'm here to tell you that it is indeed true.
Of course it is. Of course. Well, that was an okay video. It fell kind of flat of my expectations personally, but it's haphazardly informative in a way. Just a video about confirmation bias, essentially.
Fire Mango. It's not great.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Okay, I'm slowly building up on all the other stuff then. But yeah. Take back the like though, because
Fire Mango. But it's funny.
it's kind of funny. Like I said, it fell flat with me, but to each their own. Someone said, BetterHelp bought off our boy. Millions must talk to unlicensed strangers online. Yep. That's how that works. Someone said, I can't help but feel there's some kind of irony in a BetterHelp ad being in the video about nothing ever happens. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Someone said, but Chudda, what if? Chudda, it won't. Oh, bro went from making vid on ancient scamming to doing modern scamming. That BetterHelp little ad didn't help him, it seems. Seems like it didn't really help. Brother. Ooh, what's going on over in Iraq and Iran, right now? You got anything?
Have to help out. And then they said, well, actually, on second.
You got anything else, Fire Mango? Any other requests?
Fire Mango. No, he fell off after this Sidio.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. It seemed like it was... So basically, my read of the ad read was pretty much spot on. Then again, I'm not one to talk, right? Frickin', I went from having like 30,000 subscribers to, well, nothing quite a few times. So I've fallen off more than he has, I would think.
Fire Mango. Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, oh man. What's going on over there?
Fire Mango. But I don't got nothing, look up Seattle.
You don't got nothing? Look up Seattle? Ooh, Finding Sky did something. I'll have to pay attention to that later. Seattle. 2 days ago, large police presence in Madison Park neighborhood. Deadly I-5 shooting near Boeing Field. Woman attacked outside Queen Anne's store.
Fire Mango.
That sounds like
Riots
Seattle.
asterisk.
That sounds like Seattle. Seattle. Seattle riots. Yep, none of this surprises me. Beware of the violin scam. The fact anyone would give a random female on the street anything, I mean, I wouldn't. Definitely not. Seattle police break up ice out protesters downtown. Did they break them up or? Oh, it's probably copyrighted. Fuck. All the news people copyright all their shit because they hate others doing better coverage than them.
Fire Mango. Those violin scams are still common.
Oh yeah. Violins, the pretend
Fire
homeless.
Mango. But anyways.
All that. Very common. Brother. Driver runs over protester in downtown LA. Yes, victory. Small victory. Yep. Seems like a continuation of all the bullshit. Florida sheriff warns violent protesters. We will chill you out.
Fire Mango. Iran is the most interesting news RN.
Freaking A. Them Marines are ready for business. Look at the high rise on this dude. But yeah, freaking, it doesn't surprise me. The only way to maintain law and order is if you give authority to those who maintain and sustain and keep law and order. Your law enforcement, your peace officers, and all the good and bad that comes with that. But yeah, freaking. Oh, it's muted?
Fire Mango. Seattle living up to its rep as Northern Cali.
Right. The left coast. There's a reason why they call it the left coast.
Retaliation to a missile.
All right, so they have live news going at the moment. I'm going to let this play for a little bit. I know a good amount of what they're going to be recapping. But I'll be back in a sec. Please make sure you like and share. But I'll be back in a sec. I'm going to check on my boy and see if he's eating and all that.
attack. Also, we're hearing of explosions
And I
being
need
heard in
tea.
major Iranian cities. And also, Iran is moving even closer to closing the Strait of Hormuz as we speak. And it's good to see you all once again.
And of course, we're going to be covering the past 24 hours of news from around the world, as we have been able to hear that the Israeli armed forces have been conducting significant airstrikes throughout the entirety of the Islamic Republic of Iran, with explosions being reported inside of Tabriz, Kermanshah, Isfahan, as well as the cities just outside of western Tehran in the area of Nasirabad, along a major highway heading to the city of Kazvin. We have also been able to hear of significant developments inside of the Strait of Hormuz, as it does appear that the Islamic Republic of Iran is attempting to move forward with a possible closure of the vital strait that allows for a massive amount of Middle Eastern petroleum and petroleum products to be able to make their way into the greater world and into the open international market. We have also been able to hear that the Islamic Republic of Iran has been conducting missile attacks against the state of Israel, although incredibly small, over the past 24 hours. We've already been able to hear that U.S. bases throughout the Middle East, including those in Syria and Iraq, including the At-Tanf garrison and the Al-Assad air base inside of the area of the western region of Iraq, are already preparing for attacks by the Al-Najaba militia and other proxy forces supported by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Outside of that, we have also been able to hear that the United States of America is continuing forward with its objectives and precautions, as we've been able to hear that a worldwide caution alert has been transmitted by the Department of State, and we've also been able to hear that the President of the United States is now alluding to a possible regime change inside of the Islamic Republic of Iran following after the attacks that we saw yesterday. Those attacks have actually had a significant amount of picture and video evidence coming out in the past 24 hours, and we have been able to see significant damage at the Natanz nuclear facility, the Isfahan nuclear research campus, as well as the Fordow uranium enrichment plant, which was inside of a mountain about 15 miles to the northeast of the city of Qom. We have also been able to hear an additional amount of detail and information as well that the Russian Federation has condemned the United States of America for the attacks on the Islamic Republic of Iran, claiming they used missiles against a sovereign country in an unprovoked attack, violating the national integrity and sovereignty of the Islamic Republic, while at the same time continuing on their war in Ukraine, which is doing the very same things. Outside of that, we have also been able to hear, speaking of the war in Ukraine, the Ukrainian armed forces have been able to retake villages within the area of the Sumy front at the moment, retaking the town of Andriivka right next to the city of Oleksivka, just a few miles to the west. We have also been able to hear the Ukrainian armed forces have been conducting pitched defenses of the city of Pokrovsk and the Severonsky Forest, as well as the southern front in Zaporizhia earlier today. There have been a massive amount of significant developments over the past 24 hours inside of the Middle East and Eastern Europe, and it does appear that at this moment, the Islamic Republic of Iran and the Russian Federation may actually be on the ropes for the large part, at least from what we were able to hear right now. And we are, of course, going to be getting into all of that major news tonight. I also want to point out that we are running a fundraiser tonight for the USO, an amazing nonprofit created by an act of Congress and largely affiliated in an unofficial way with the Department of Defense. They help to provide entertainment and communications and also comfortable arrangements to U.S. soldiers currently serving overseas in the Middle East and around the world. And considering that we are hearing that those forces are about to possibly be under attack by the Islamic Republic of Iran's forces or proxy forces in the region, it most likely would be greatly appreciated by soldiers overseas if the Lee Spring Army and the Greater Channel was to support the USO and its operations abroad. Nevertheless, we will be moving on into our major news of the night, as we have been able to hear inside of the Islamic Republic of Iran that there have been a significant amount of airstrikes conducted just recently by the Israeli Air Forces on the heels of the successful Operation Hammer, which was conducted by the United States Air Force overnight, along in conjunction with the U.S. Navy. We have been able to hear that the city of Kermanshah has been hit significantly, as we were able to see a massive explosion and fireball in the distance rising out of the city of Kermanshah. We will not be showing the footage entirely due to a possibility of copyright, but beyond that, it does appear that there has been another hit inside of Kermanshah, at least at the moment. We have also been able to hear inside of the city of Tabriz there have been multiple explosions within the surrounding area, and we can see plumes of smoke rising from the ground as filmed by first-person citizens of the Islamic Republic of Iran that were on the ground able to take pictures at the time the airstrikes were conducted. We were not able to see, at least at the moment, the exact targets that were hit inside of the city of Tabriz or Kermanshah, but we were able to confirm that this was a part of a significant significant Israeli air operation against the Islamic Republic of Iran and the targeting and destruction of military targets throughout the country. We believe that they may be going after military bases and also air defense sites even still, as the Israelis appear to be opening up the Islamic Republic of Iran's broader airspace to future attacks either by the U.S. Air Forces that may occur in the future, or for the Israeli Air Force's extended air operations that may be conducted even deeper into the country beyond the airstrikes that we have been seeing so far. We have also been able to hear that a significant airstrike occurred near to the town of Nasrabad along Highway 2 or Interstate 2 of the Islamic Republic of Iran, heading west outside the city of Tehran. We have been able to see this explosion and fire in the distance, filmed from someone who actually was on the interstate, largely showing us that there had been a hit by the Israeli Air Forces in the area once again, and significant damage had been caused as a result. It does appear that the Israelis did not stop there, as we also were able to hear more reports of airstrikes throughout pretty much the entirety of the country, and we were able to hear that there were reports of heavy bombardment not only inside of the areas of western Tehran, but also around the area of the Parchin military site southeast of Tehran. The Parchin military site is directly along the Highway 44 area right here in this area. Parchin is actually a significant part of the Iranian nuclear weapons and research development programs, and has been targeted and hit in the past at least twice by Israeli airstrikes over around the past 2 weeks. This actually is now the third recorded strike that has been seen by the Islamic Republic of Iran on their soil at the Parchin facility, or at least around the surrounding Parchin facility area, and it is once again showing us that the Islamic Republic of Iran is starting to take significant hits at their softer nuclear facilities and sites, even at this point, after the U.S. strikes were conducted successfully yesterday. We
Freaking amen. If it looks like there's a lot of stuff that's happening, that's because there's a lot of stuff that's happening. And now we're getting word that we may not have actually completely destroyed all of our targets. That's not good. Now, me, I'm like, look, if we're going to do this, do it right. Give us a bang for our buck with the tax money and get it done. Right? But hopefully we're not going to need to put boots on the ground ever. Hopefully not. I'm not trying to look at another Iraq or Afghanistan 20-year conflict, right?
We also got to see that the Israeli Air Force has...
Not unless we're getting some really juicy stuff from it.
Still been picking away and largely eliminating vehicles and equipment of the Iranian Air Force, as we were able to see 2 Iranian F-5s apparently loaded out, ready for combat, as we can actually see AIM-9s on the outer wingtips of these aircraft as they were being hit and destroyed. It is quite interesting to note that these aircraft were hit with ordnance clearly mounted on board, which may suggest that they actually were preparing for some sort of an air defense operation in the future. However, Northrop Grumman F-5s, such as the ones we're seeing right here, are incredibly limited in their usage in modern air defense, as these aircraft are considered entirely outdated in their original configuration. The F-5 can carry 2 AIM-9s, but most F-5s, unless if they've been modified further by the Iranians, are not able to carry any sort of semi-active radar-guided homing missiles or any radar-guided homing missiles. As a matter of fact, the F-5 doesn't even have a radar in its original configuration, unless if it was an F-5E variant, in which it may have a limited and older radar system. Outside of that, this aircraft is practically obsolete, but we were able to confirm that the Israelis did target and destroy the aircraft at the airports today. We can see the 2 strikes being shown here on film, and once again confirming the complete destruction of both F-5 Tigers that were being used by the Islamic Republic of Iran's Air Force. Outside of that, moving on into a little bit of a post-damage assessment from yesterday, the U.S. airstrikes at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan largely appear to have been successful, although there's been a couple of catches throughout the day that have now been released that are showing that the operation did not achieve exactly every single one of its objectives, but largely achieved the primary objectives of destroying these key sites. We were able to see, starting off in Isfahan primarily, the Isfahan Nuclear Research Campus, or as it's called on Google, the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center. This center is crucially important, according to information that we've been able to receive, to the development and production of nuclear weaponry or nuclear weaponry related technology inside of the Islamic Republic of Iran. From what we were able to tell, the Israeli Air Force has actually hit and damaged the facility quite significantly before the U.S. strikes were even conducted about 12 hours later. But on the heels of the U.S. airstrikes, we were able to see that the damage at the Isfahan Nuclear Research Facility was incredibly significant. We were able to see before and after satellite footage showing us the campus. To really quickly show y'all how the Maxar satellite was oriented, the Maxar satellite is actually looking southwards, at least in this picture, meaning that the bottom side of the picture is the, well, actually, correction here. The upper side of the picture, over here to the right, is actually the northern side of the complex. The upper side, at the very top of the screen, is actually the western side of the facility. And then, of course, the right, well, actually, the left side area is the southern side, and then the bottom part of the screen is the eastward side. So we're actually looking at this at a little bit of a slant, and the picture is not viewed from a north-south perspective.
Man. So, okay. There's quite a few updates about that, I guess. Well, that's a pretty stark change. Before. After. It does look like it got seriously hit quite a few times. Oh, yeah. Quite a few times. At least half the buildings. Freaking A. Talk about a strike. Anyway, yeah, it seems like this is only going to heat up. Yeah, it's just about half the buildings. A few slip through here and there. What do you think about all this, Fire Mango? Me, pretty soon here. I'm about to take a shower and go to bed. But yeah, if y'all want to catch up on news and it's all condensed all together, it's the Enforcer channel. They're the best ones at it. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, no, it does seem like there's lots of things that are about to happen. A ton of things that are about to happen. But yeah. I'm getting really tired really fast. Fire Mango, apologies, but I'm gonna cut it off here. I'm flagging quickly. That's what sucks about being old. Takes a lot to build up energy. That being said, let me know what you think, whomever may watch this later. There's very worrying portents of our future being shown, and none of it's good. But let me know what y'all think. That being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. I am Badger7 Actual, the formerly homeless veteran, Blastcat Badger. Nihilia, please, at your soonest convenience, update us on what's going on, or me personally, either way. That being said, be good, be safe, make good life for yourselves. Don't compromise safety and security for nobody and nothing. Death and disaster is only a second away. Do what you can today. And I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm Badger7 Actual, the formerly homeless veteran. Blast Cat Badger out.